Joining me now for a deeper dive into all of this is Hyde, a senior non-resident fellow with the Arab Reform Initiative and a consulting fellow with the think tank Chatham House. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So Ahmad al-Sharaa became the first Syrian president to visit the White House on Monday. But what makes this so unusual is the previous $10 million bounty on his head due to his role as a former al-Qaeda militant. What all came out of this historic meeting with US President Donald Trump?
I think one of the clear sort of significance is the improvement of relationships, not only between the two countries, but between the two individuals as well, between the two presidents. And I think one of the clear sort of issues that President Sharaa is trying to do here is to benefit from this in order to lift the rest of sanctions on his country. Now, another important issue is discussing joining the international coalition against ISIS, and that will be also important because it will improve the relationship between the institutions in the two countries. So this relationship will last even after the current administration terms over in the White House.
And President Trump held this meeting with Syria's new leader behind closed doors, even ensuring al-Sharaa's entrance into the White House avoided any contact with reporters. Why the secrecy?
So I think it has to do with diplomatic norms based on the sort of reports shared. Since this is not a state visit, the normal protocol does not really apply to it. But this is at least that one of the ways to basically justify why we are seeing a different treatment to al-Sharaa. However, if you move beyond this detail, the rest of the meeting seemed to have gone really well, or went really well. And this is basically based on statements from different officials who were there, but also the tweet that was shared by President Trump afterwards.
And as you touched on, the US says it will extend its pause on most sanctions against Syria for an additional 180 days. How critical is this action for ending Syria's isolation after decades of war, terrorism and drug trafficking under ousted former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad?
I think that the act itself, once implemented, as in when the Caesar Act is lifted, will be crucial, because so far, and despite the different waivers and different sanctions that have been lifted, basically by executive orders by President Trump, investors have been still sort of hesitant to really invest in Syria because they don't know what will happen. The sanctions are not fully lifted. And because of that, I think lifting the rest of the sanctions, especially the Caesar Act, will be crucial because when it's permanently lifted, that's when you will basically potentially see that a major challenge to their investments in Syria will be hopefully removed. So far, meanwhile, there has been a waiver for 6 months has been implemented. While it's symbolically important to basically show intent, its impact will unlikely be felt much because it's for 6 months, and because of that short period, people will not really have the confidence to move in and start investing in Syria.
And of course, Congress is yet to repeal legislation that blocks nearly all international transactions with the Syrian government. When might Congress repeal what's called the Syria Civilian Protection Act?
Well, this is the question that everyone is currently asking, because there were reports that the Caesar Act could be potentially lifted before the visit, but it did not happen. I think one of the sort of objectives of the visit is to address the concerns of those in the Congress who are still resisting or opposing lifting it. And so now we'll have to wait and see if the different meetings that President Sharaa has conducted in DC have been able to really address those concerns, give them the guarantees and assurances they wanted in order to move forward and lift the act.
Haider, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it and your analysis.
Thank you.